Hello, it is your main man, Rico Roxx. It's been way too long, everybody. But let's not get caught up on things like that. The long-awaited special 22. Hell, folks, every day is special. Now, that sounds like a really bad fortune cookie. But at the same time, I had an idea of what I wanted for my episode 22. Because I love the number 22 so much. But sometimes you throw the baby out with the bathwater, which means me just wanting to do something special. If it means I'll never be able to do another episode, it's not worth it. Because it's been a year almost, not a year, but like at least 8-9 months. Well, since I released technically Rico Roxx Social Suicide episode 21. Let's give a big shout out. It's your main man, Rico Roxx here. Well, in any case, folks, I don't have very long, but this is the thing. It's so funny how it all works out, because I'm going to go ahead and bring to you guys the long-awaited Rico Roxx Social Suicide episode. Did I say the name right? Rico Roxx Social Suicide podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio. But definitely, Podbean is my main host, so please check that out. Podbean, Podbean, RicoRoxx.com, Rico Roxx, ROXX, Rico ROXX, Rocks, Rico ROXX.com. So the episode is not going to be some big production, which I wanted for my big episode 22, but it would have been another year before it came out. So without further ado, folks, this is a conversation in chat I had with Coltrane on Podbean. I do live chats there. I do live streams, rather. And Coltrane, Coltrane, he's also on there. And he popped into my live feed the other day. And I've been in a bit of a podcast rut, you could say. And not been doing episodes and things like this. And I know everyone's been so patient, and I do thank you, anybody who listens to your main man, Rico Roxx here. I do love you, and I want to give a big shout out to all the Podbean family. Give a big shout out to Can't Sleep 123. Give a big shout out to, of course, Coltrane for he being the latest in this episode. Give a big shout out to my nephew, Ebola God. Just a couple shout outs to the gang. But Rico Roxx, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I just did this short little intro. I'm doing this short little intro, rather, just to let everyone know that now that episode 22 is officially done, although it's not going to be, I actually recorded intros and all this other stuff, but I just want to get my life moving on, and I'm going through a lot of things in my life, and I want to be, and I'm looking forward to continuing the saga. But this whole hang-up has been just delaying me, and so without further ado, we're just going to do a random live, and I didn't expect this to be my giant episode 22, but this is what it is, and I haven't even listened back to it yet, but thank you very much. Rico Roxx loves you. Free your mind. Do not believe them. Free your mind. Fuck the holies. 221-22,022. Thank you, Coltrane. Thank you, Podbean. And enjoy Rico Roxx coming at you live, baby. Okay. What up, Big Papa? What up, gangster? The train full of coal. Just chilling. Me too, man. Me too. I'm just sitting back. I'm actually taking advantage of the wind right now, and was just finger combing my hair in the wind. That sounds kind of gay, but it really is pretty introspective if you think about it. Man, you want to talk about some motivation, bro? Let me tell you this much. Let me give you this little piece of motivation. I could lose it all. I could fuck my whole life up. I could fuck everything up, but I still could rap. How is that for motivation? Like, that's a beautiful thing. If you got it, you got it, baby. And that's something they can't take from you. You could try to, you could even fuck your own head up, but man, it's one of those crazy things. Is how fucked up, man, not crazy as I go off in my head. Man, I put out just to hear myself on the mic, man. I love hearing myself. I'm very self-indulging like that. So how's that? I don't know about you, man, but I love hearing my own voice. If I could just have a Rico Roxx radio station all day long. If I could have a Rico Roxx radio station, I'd be like, holy fuck. I'd never leave the house. Yeah. Well, there's two ways to go about it. You could either freestyle and just drop freestyles, or you could just bust freestyles and then pick verses out of them freestyles and write about them. It's either you put in time into the song or no time. If you just want to just get it, because I love freestyling. I just dropped 2 freestyles recently and they're both pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, because you just have to. It's like facing whatever comes at you. What up, JP? You see, Coltrane. I hear you about the drugs, bro, but let me tell you, maybe that does have, because I can't say it has nothing to do with that, but just separate from that, it's how you just want to do it. Is production versus freestyle. A freestyle is interesting, but just know that what I like to do is, I think a lot of professionals, motherfuckers, do this. What up, JP? I feel like they go in there and they just do the same beat over and over and over and over. Like, they'll sit there and put on the same beat like at least 10 times, and then they'll just spit to it 10 times, and then they'll pick the best 3 verses out of them 10 times. So that's 3 times 10, that's 30 verses. So it's like a 3 out of 30. They're handpicking it, and I think that if you want to sit there and do it's 10 freestyles in a row. Because that's how I do it sometimes. Like, a couple of my songs are a couple takes, but most of my songs are freestyle, 1 take. If you could flow, man, like I said, man, I would definitely say motivation is take your time. Don't rush yourself into the lab. But just know that every day that you don't create something is going to be one day that if you lose your gift one day, if one day you're just beyond the point of where you can't even utter words, you're just like, your words are slow, or maybe you just start getting into some kind of major mental impediment, then whatever you had before then, that was it. So just know that don't rush, but just hope you don't wait too long to where you can't ever make music again. Because that's where I found myself sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, dude, sometimes I'm like, dude, you fucking done did it. You done fried your head. You done pushed yourself beyond the point of no return. I'll sit here and I'll think this just because of just how the ground I stand on just crumbles. But then I'll throw a beat on. And let me tell you, it's like riding a bike. It's like riding a bicycle. I still ain't lost that flow. I'm not Eminem or nothing, but at the same time, there's something about that call to action. And I've been very, very definitely away from my work lately. As far as my consistency goes, it's not like I'm putting out a lot of projects. So I can't even preach to the choir. But I'll tell you, I've been spitting again lately in this last week. And after just being quiet for some time, just to hear I still got that shit. And it's a nice reminder of why I am what I am. And that's a bold claim. Because Jesus Christ, Culture, and let me tell you, if you haven't noticed, man, my whole shit has been falling apart. Man, I can't even tell you. The metaphor is real, because it's kind of interesting how sometimes you're going through something mentally and then life will play along with it. Things will happen along with it just to reinforce some things. And man, let me tell you, man, talk about when it rains it pours, brother. Talk about just comical level of just fuckery. But that's the beauty of it, man. It's like, man, the next chapter is gonna be a close one. This is, like I said, all my chapters are usually pretty close, but man, let me tell you, for me to just have that faith and calm myself, like, okay, kid, here's the desert. See you on the other side of that. Woo! Roadhouse, baby. Coltrane, baby. Railroad tracks. Nah, bro, thank you, Coltrane, for listening. JP for listening. This is just my opinion on freestyling right now, because let me tell you, I know I'm still gifted. I know, and I know Coltrane still got it in him. Because I'm telling you guys, holy shit. If I wrote a book about my fucking, like, it's almost a shame. Like, I don't fucking, like, blog or tell, like, I don't like to get it details. It's, like, such a pathetic life. It's just such a pathetic fucking drowning of chemicals and escapism, which just almost seems shameful. It almost seems, fuck it just is something almost just disgraceful in some ways. It's like, geez, talk about extremist. And then it's just like, how am I supposed to look back at my life and see that? Look back at myself and say, oh, how can you justify doing that to yourself? But then it's always nice when you get a nice little gift. Because imagine if I really was just mind rotted or by now, or if just like, because it's not like any of us help it. But yeah, we can freestyle. This isn't the problem. I just think it's being impatient. See, I'm very lazy sometimes, man. Like, so I'm more prone to freestyle because just for the simple fact I am such a pathetic fucking escape addict, and just it just seems to take a lot of my attention. Consistent, like, for me to sit there and write, I would have to. I'm not. I think it's more, if I had to write as a prerequisite, it probably would never happen. I can rely on myself. I'm very unreliable in that way. I'm such a fucking reckless, just carefree, just sometimes it seems almost. It seems like I'm really lazy is what it seems like. It seems like I'm just a lazy guy who doesn't try hard, but I feel like it might not be that, but it really looks like that, and it feels like that a lot of the times. But who knows what it really is? I can't really just self-assess myself too harshly, but it seems like I'm lazy because it's like, damn, why don't you sit there and just do something consistently good for yourself? But it's like, I do enjoy when I get that moment of inspiration, man, because I want to fucking leave the world with some shit, baby. Oh yeah, see, the bad thing about being addicted, though, addictions are nice for as far as power, but there's one thing that I have to note. Just me being by myself for a year, just having to do with no one, just me completely unchained, I'll tell you this much. The one kind of negative, I don't want to say negative, but the one thing that people should definitely pay note when being an addict, time. You could literally go by months after months and not do fucking shit to anything but your addiction, and to you it's only a couple highs and lows of addiction, but to the outside world it's been half a year. That might fuck with you. You have to pass. See, that was one thing I didn't expect. I didn't expect a year to flash by in a month. It feels like a couple days, and it's been over a year. It's like the world thinks I'm just some fucking loser who hasn't done shit with it, and it's like, damn, has this been a year? It feels like a week. Like, time is warped for a year. Yeah, JP, thank you for listening. I know. Happy Father's Day, brother. Yeah, man, it's been a couple years since I started the roller coaster, let alone anytime sober. That's a whole nother story. I ain't even worried about the sober ride right now. But Coltrane, let me ask you this. Coltrane. How could I put this? Coltrane, the question I have for you is, have you had a moment in your life where, I'm sure you have plenty of these, but more 30 years old plus, like one of your recent ones, has there been a moment in your adult life, maybe this was the event that led to something different in your last life, like something that just, that last time you looked around you and it's like you look up, down, left, right, and there's no rules, there's no nothing, it's all on you. You decide this destiny is your destiny. And then was that moment, can you recall a moment that just sat upon your shoulders like that? That feeling of just like, this world is yours. And how did that affect you? Because you would definitely hope that whatever. All right. I'm just gonna ramble a little bit. The reason I was bringing that up is because a man trying to feel good and feel okay, but then consequences may or may not persist there. But just knowing that no one's gonna. There's certain things that I realize people don't appreciate shit if you're a certain way. Now that just, without being too stubborn, it's like, damn, being hated on, and so it's like people trying to change you, or versus sometimes you just got to hit the road on your own. I feel like I am an extremist. I do drink a lot and I do a lot of drugs, but at the same time, I'm very polite and I'm very, very, very social, and I'm very, very. I think I'm a very good dude. So I think that the people that I've been around are just hating on me. So I'm plunged into the world. Now, to me, I definitely want to give myself the benefit of the doubt where it's like, they're shitty, I'm not shitty. At the same time, I am an extremist. So it's like, fuck. But now the rubber hits the road, I might have to just slow down on my extremist habits just to gather my bearings to see what I do next. Just because I was in a comfort zone where I didn't expect these certain decisions. But at the same time, man, swinging a bunch of alcohol definitely makes the edge go away. So that's just my thoughts on it. I'm wondering, like, when you realize, like, does a man sink or like crossroads of life? Like, what? I've had a few of these pivotal moments in my life. And every time I said, it's been a handful. And they're all very, very close chapters, let me tell you. So I have a bit of faith in my resiliency there, because, man, I can tell you a handful of these examples of where I was like, oh, that was the end, and nope, I pulled it out of my fucking ass by the hair of my chinny chin Coltrane. And that's the beauty of it. My body and my mind is still there. So if I try not to panic, because panic is a no-no. No matter what, panic is a no-no. A panic is a no-no. Bitch, that's a no-go. Rico Roxx, I don't care which way we go, bro. I'ma just flow, though. I'ma like a wind hoe. I just follow the leaves and the windstones. I think, okay, Coltrane chimes in with, I think once I realized in life that the main obstacle we're meant to overcome is ourselves is a daily battle. Interesting. Let's give a round of applause for that insight. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think at the very fundamental of it, I think that's a very sophisticated way to say that, because at the end of the day, you could get caught up in the hoopla, but at the end of the day, that's a very sophisticated way to say no matter who you are, at the end of the day, it is truly a battle with yourself. And that's as sophisticated as it gets. That really doesn't, that's more ancient wisdom. So I understand that, but I could see how some people would be like, oh, that's nothing. But I do see how sophisticated that is, because if you're like into correlation with my question, how that helps is I was sitting there saying, oh, when you come to crossroads and blah blah, like it's up to that individual person at that crossroad if they're gonna lose that road that day, if that bridge is gonna collapse and they're gonna go down with it, or if that battle that day they can pull out that they need to survive and thrive, and it is truly into them. Not the consequences of the shitty architecture, not the winds gusting that day. It's truly them. Once all the variables of uncontrollable happens, then how is that true reaction? Coltrane says. Coltrane chimes in and says, the obstacle in is the way. Okay, I need a better voice for Coltrane. Coltrane's voice is, the obstacle is the way. The impediment to action advances. The impediment to action advances. Action advances action. The obstacle is the way. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It reminds me of a very old ancient saying that I like to spout out every once in a while. The wind is blowing pretty hard here, but I'm trying to sound legible as I can. One of my favorite old sayings is, if you block my path, you are the path. Let's just give a round of applause for that. Listen, this has been a very insightful talk. Honestly, it is very nice to just trade thoughts with somebody. I know that to most people it doesn't seem like much, but I know that you're beyond that kind of thinking because you're here obviously. So, but man, I really am truly isolated in this world, bro. I can go days and days and days and days without a single interaction with other humans. Even if I come on Podbean, sometimes nobody comes in. And sometimes nobody hits me up. I can go days and days and days and days and days and days without any thoughts of just being able to just feel like somebody fucking hurt them. So that's why I respect and appreciate your time, brother. And I'm glad that I'm not the only one who's a deep thinker because we going through it. We spit knowledge. A warrior in a garden, not a gardener at war. Coltrane, galore. But I just want to say, bro, it's very nice. Like, these are the moments that keep me going. Because, damn it, sometimes I just want to fucking go berserk. Yes, sir. So don't be afraid to come back in, because I know I see your show on a couple times, but sometimes I'm just in such a state, I'm not even giving excuses, but I don't even know why I don't say, but sometimes I do see you out there and I don't click on it, but that's just my own fault. That's my own stupidity. But at the same time, you're beyond that, and what a treasure it was that you clicked in my channel today, brother. So that's pretty much what wraps up today's talk. We were talking about freestyling, so I hope you got a little something in your tailpipe, because I didn't expect to do a freestyle recently, but I ended up doing a couple. I ended up doing a couple freestyles because Alicia last year, she introduced me to this app, Rap Fame, and I was like, okay, check it out, and it's a rap app. So, okay, like, how do I make a post? It's not like Facebook where you can just make a post and type it. The way you make a post is by putting down a rap. So I was like, let me introduce myself, and so that put me in a situation, because I haven't made a single SoundCloud drop in fucking like 6 months, even though it feels like yesterday. And let alone a podcast episode. My shit's crumbling. Although I did release a freestyle on my last little upload like a week ago. I just happened to run into somebody who freestyled with me, and I was like, I'm gonna upload it. But if you haven't checked that out, it's literally, if you go to my channel, it's the last upload. It's like a couple minute rap, but I fucking still got it. And that shit was a kind of the awakening of my flow recently, because I've been escaping to my flow lately. Absolutely, bro. But that's the nice thing though, because with all this, man, let me tell you, like, gotta keep that in my house. just said fuck it because I just don't want to deal with it. Just sacrificed a bunch of the shit just because I didn't care about it that much anyways. But it's like shit that I did want to tinker around with, a bunch of treasures I had, but didn't really give a fuck about. Just scrap them, dude. Just dust in the wind to me. I don't really give a fuck. If I had a place to give a fuck about them with, then I would, okay. But as soon as I was like, okay, I ain't got a place, I instantly just make the cuts. Bloop, 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 bloop. Red line, bloop, bloop. Don't give a fuck about it. I honestly, it's kind of interesting the level of, it's like, oh, I thought I needed that. Dude, as soon as I was like, okay, now it's like I'm homeless, boom, I fucking was like, bloop, bloop, making the cuts. No problem. That's gotta go. That's gotta go. Just getting rid of everything. So that's very positive. A mental strip. But at the same time, it's like, damn, it was thrust upon me. Like, damn, all the projects I thought I had, all the stability I thought I had, just boom, gets fall. It's like getting that, you are the weakest thing. Goodbye. I had the floor pulled beneath my feet. Boom. Okay. But it's, instead of crumbling, though, I'm kind of excited by the challenge, but it really is a fucking kind of bummy kind of excitement because holy fuck, I'm just like, woo, let's go, bitch. I could lose everything. I don't care. Like, that's kind of bummy. Like, just as if you think about it, that's just a man who is just literally fucking untethered. At the end of the day, man, this motherfucker doesn't have shit. He don't give a fuck about shit. How the fuck can you ever even, like, don't leave your wife around me. Don't leave your kids around me. Like, I'm just a man who has nothing to lose. Like, I'm to the definition. And it's like, shit, it's like, damn, did I really want to be that? Did I expect I would be that man growing up when I was a little kid? I didn't know that. But bam, here I am. It's like, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the man who fucking gets broken by these things you thought you need? Or are you going to fucking find new shit? I'm going to find some new shit. But it's better than just fucking dying. It's like, holy fuck. But that's a rush when that floor falls out from under you. You know it's going to happen. It's like playing that old game. I don't know if you remember that old game. There was like an old board game when we had growing up where it was like you put a bunch of the pieces in the in the fucking thing, and there was the timer set to it, and then there's and then like you were trying to do the puzzle in time, but if you didn't do the puzzle in time, then that shit would just explode, and you're like, damn. It's like, holy fuck. It's like, I'm trying to do the puzzle, but I know at any fucking moment it can give out. Well, holy fucking shit. Rico Roxx's shit gave out. So it's like, damn. But that's the thing, man. When you're at that, you get a certain frequency. That's what I respect about earthquakes. Is if you think about an earthquake, like right now I'm sitting in California, and if all of a sudden, the California San Andreas fault line just Yellowstone bust, boom, and just what I'm sitting on, like let's say I'm sitting on the ground right now just talking, next thing you know there's 30 feet higher than it was, and then 60 feet lower than it was per millisecond times 17, just magnitude break, like California just turned into an island. And I think about that frequency of reality, just boom, just your reality just being fucking rifled, bro, just being fucking boom, just rattled. Can a man walk away? And so Coltrane chimes in with, only after we've lost everything are we free to do anything. And that's a beautiful philosophy, man. And it's kind of interesting because anybody could read that, but truly to go through that experiment, it's never self-given. It's rarely. I doubt it. A man could say his whole life, oh, after we've lost everything, but a man will never give up everything. If it was up to him, he would never do it. And that's the saddest fucking part, man. That life does better than we even want for ourselves sometimes, because we have a bunch of collected goods and we've accumulated a familiarity and some items, and then if it was up to us, we'd just sit there and just be like, oh. And I could say this very proudly in general, I'm highly generalizing, but man, I've lived different lives, man. I've lived in different states and I've worked a job and built up a little apartment just to lose it all. Like, I understand the process of, having your own little, this is my life. But then, luckily, me being such a fucking Coltrane, me being such a off the rails, I've actually forced myself into life. I've forced life to make me give up everything. Because if I just took the complete, I'm gonna tether myself to my stuff,
But man, I think that there's a mental, because man, I literally am 30 years old, brother. And my mind, like, as you can tell, I could rant with the best of them, so that's not gone away. So I'm definitely, like, and I'm talking, I don't want to, I'm so ashamed to get into the details of amount of shit I get into, man, but you would think I wouldn't have this level of coherency. So that is a beautiful sentence, because I am a man who right now I'm going through, only after I've lost everything, because I literally got tested right now, and there's like this computer thing, like it's salty because I haven't had a computer since I was a teenager and I always wanted a computer again, so I have this desktop, but man, I might have to just tuck this desktop in the dumpster, honestly, to be honest, at the end of the day, because why lug around the fucking desktop? But it's like, damn, it sucked because I was so proud of myself for being able to put myself in a position to get one. But man, this time I wasn't able to keep it going. I gotta really, and that's the beauty of it, because that's the thing. It's like, oh, you gotta let go of all this nice. It's like, well, you didn't do the things that you needed to do to keep it. So then let it go. Is carefree as I was in the time in which I could have gained stability, then I must be as carefree to the consequence. But that means if I ever am a millionaire, if I ever am sitting in a mansion with a fucking little bunch of 18-year-old white girls sniffing the fucking fat lines off my dick, I'm very respectful in my mind, then I'm going to say, oh, do you remember when I was 30 years old and I fucking became a homeless, pitiful bum in LA? Remember that? Remember that day? Remember when I fucking could have just completely lost my mind? Or somehow did I fucking make it? And there's that little bit of imagination. So if you're going to spit, you got to have imagination. I think a man who loses everything is only free to do anything if they have imagination too. Because you got to have some imagination. Like I imagine all kinds of little things and just even things that ain't materialistic, but just powers that I imagine myself gaining still. Although politically and I do a number to myself. Just completely just lose it all. Like, woohoo, like you're a man standing out here, like, what you got? Nothing. It's like, well, what else you got? Or something. That's the thing, I materially just lost everything. I don't even have an ID, a physical ID on me. I have physically just a name and a social security number. And my name is made up. Rico Roxx is a made up name. That's not my real name, but that's my name. And I don't even have an ID. I have no physical, so I literally don't even have no documentation. I have nothing. But I want the world still, Coltrane. Coltrane chimes in with, we would have been kings in another time. That's why some society makes it so hard for us now. It's hard for us to fit in because our thought process is so different from anyone else's. Yes, Coltrane, that is true. Can't deny that fact, but let me tell you, isn't it kind of interesting how the world, this kind of fucking things are crumbling with the world, so it makes it kind of interesting, because I feel like there is a time for us that might be coming very, very soon, where if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have said, nah, we are lost causes, our minds are just not meant for this, they're going to beat us with their system. But now let me tell you, I look around me, I look around the world, and even in my own madness, I could tell one thing in society. The people need leaders and kings right now. And that's one thing that does keep me going. Because if it would have been 3, 4, or 5 years ago, I would have fucking probably had lost my mind. Just because I would have just drank and did drugs to death. But then I think I started realizing that the world was getting kind of chaotic. And then with this whole, the whole political, like, now it's like, I would be ashamed. Like, I almost refuse to let my body die in this level. Like, I want to fucking show off the madness while other people are losing their mind. I could still be like, oh, I could show that even though y'all thought, like, when it all said and done and the smoke clears, they're going to be like, damn, these niggas was the motherfucking shit. Because eventually the smoke's going to clear eventually. And so if the smoke wouldn't even popped up, it's like, oh shit. So, but that's the thing, even though society's lost in the fucking kind of thing, I'm even lost in my own thing. So it's like, it's even better for me, because like, I'm like, my mind is going into survival. I'm a day away from homelessness, packing up all my shit, literally almost done, about to be outside. And it's like, so I got other things on my mind other than the world's crazy shit. Although I know the world's crazy shit exists. It's like, it's my own fucking eternal battle for survival is gonna buffer my mind from the mental system, the mental experiment that they got going on, that are people who have no other issues but to pay attention to the systems, structure, mental, psychotic thing they got going on. So that's always nice. I think it's going to be interesting. I wonder when the smoke clears I do think about the kids sometimes. I think about the young ones and how when the smoke clears, how it's almost going to seem like two different humans, two kind of humans, because it's almost going to be like strangers. It's almost like if you see the movie Terminator, and it's like the Terminator is going to be the old school, and then the new people, like, you're going to seem like some powerful being compared to these little brainwashed humans, but it's not their fault necessarily. Yeah, so absolutely, Coach Trainer but good luck, man. I hope I see you again, man. I hope your heart keeps beating. I hope you're practicing. Like, one of the things is, I try to do a lot of things to help me out. I drink all day. I'm literally drinking booze right now. Fucking just right fucking now. I'm drinking booze. Fucking, dude, I've been up for days, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, I do try to get a little cardio in every day. I mean, as fucked up it is, man, like, I would hate to just die. So it's like I try to not go too hard. But sometimes, this week I've been easy. I've been cheating on my diet this week. I went and got a McFlurry. I said, fuck it. I don't usually get ice cream or sweets, but I was like, man, I just was like feeling low and I just needed some pick-me-up. I was like, man, I just want to go out and treat myself. And it helped me out. I actually been riding the wave of that, because then I went and got some sweets. I got a McFlurry, like way out of my character, but it was like, bam, it gave me a boost. But I don't recommend doing shit like, if you can't be eating sweets and all this all the time, you got to worry about your blood sugar, because, man, that's where they get you. That's that shit. What did they say? Young Jeezy said, he said, I gotta watch he's like, sodium, gotta watch my sodium, cause they don't get him with that song. That also verse, I gotta watch my sodium. You know what I'm talking about, Coach Train, that old song, Young Jeezy and Akon. He's like, I die high blood pressure, gotta watch my sodium. You know what I'm talking about? He said, die high blood pressure, gotta watch my sodium. Exactly. Just want us to give a big shout out to that song, Soul Survivor by Akon and Young Jeezy, trying to take it easy. Cold Train and Rico Roxx trying to take it easy. Episode, give us a last one with a quote, and we can call this one Rico Roxx, Social Suicide, episode 22. We can call that one if you call it. What do you think? Do you think should we just get this episode 22 out the way and make this episode 22, Coach Ryan? This long-awaited special. Alright, folks, this is your main man, Rico Roxx. Episode 22 was not exactly what you expected it to be. And neither was I, but we needed to get this going. It's a new chapter in life. So, with a long-awaited Rico Roxx coming at you live, coming at you heavily edited, pre-recorded today, with our long-awaited episode 22, baby. Did I expect this? No. But is it about that time? Yes. And was it worth it? Yes. Coltrane here with me as a motherfucker. And he says on our way out, Coltrane says on Rico Roxx Social Suicide episode, episode number 22, says, knowledge brings with it loneliness. Woo, folks. Free your mind. RicoRoxx.com, Rico Roxx Social Suicide Podcast, episode 22. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind.